everybody, it's Roy Kennedy, and this is my rapid fire roundup where I'm taking a look at several different games that I have played that maybe either have already been reviewed or they just are smaller, so I want to get them in this video here. So, what I'm going to talk about first is Gnome Hollow. This is a game that is coming out at Gen Con, and I had an opportunity to play it at BGG Spring. And this is a game where you have your different gnomes, and you're basically trying to go out and make these little fairy rings and gather mushrooms to be able to spin those at the market. But also, as you are completing these different fairy rings, the different size of the fairy rings allow you to do a little manipulation on your player board to be able to move these different things down. You're also going to be collecting flowers to get points. The game ends whenever you've completed enough fairy rings to move all of your things down, or whenever you've gotten one of each type of flower, or when the tiles run out of the bag. And this is basically like a race to try to gather those mushrooms, can give them to the market. This is normally not even my style of game because it's very Euro-y, but I do like that it's kind of a little bit simpler, especially if you're playing on the easy side of the board, and it's just fun to get into it. I think families are going to enjoy this. I think couples are going to have a lot of fun with this game, and I'm giving it an 8 just because I really enjoy the aesthetics of the game, and I think it's a cute little fun gnome game. So Gnome Hollow. And then my next one here is Spectral. Spectral is a deduction game where there's these grid of cards, basically, and everybody's going to be playing out their little tokens on the cards to be able to look at them, but the tokens also count for kind of area control of those different cards, and you're trying to find where the gems are. And as you flip over cards, those cards don't show you, they don't show if there's a gem in that space, they show you what space has the gem. So it'll have different diagonal arrows in it. It means oh, that's on the other side of this, and sometimes it'll be oh, it's reflected on the other side of the board, or oh, this and that. And that's cool and all, but then there are also some of these cards that show where the curse is. And the curse means that wherever a curse is, that means that there are no points given, or all of the basically the area control guys that you're putting around all get removed whenever you figure out where all the curses are, and then you only score for people that are next to the gems, whoever has the most next to it. It's just a very, very thinky game. You have a little notebook and notepad where you're trying to be okay, this is here, and I saw the gem here, and I'm gonna put a thing here. It's just so interesting, the fact that, oh, I'm gonna put a guy out here because I know that this is gonna be worth points, but I'm not 100% sure he's not touching a curse. So you have to figure out how much you're going to commit. Also, you can knock other players off of spaces, but you have to spend double the amount of people that they have there. So you can be I know this is the best space, I'm gonna lock it down. There's a lot of strategic and deduction play, which makes a lot of sense for a Ryan Courtney game, just because he has such thinky games, and this one fits into that, but I feel like it's cool because it's deduction and it is a lot of fun. So I give Spectral an 8 as well. My next one here is Deus. This is a game basically about collecting resources and getting all these cards. When you play cards out, they're going to be triggering other cards. You're basically also trying to do area control, kind of control around these barbarian camps whenever they're completely controlled around. Whoever has the most armies wins. If there's a tie for armies, that's whoever has the most buildings. And you can points that way. A lot of the cards can sometimes give you points. You can be building up temples that are also going to give you points as well, in-game scoring things. And it's all about this card management and things like that. I had fun with it, but I think that was more of the people I was playing with. I don't know, I just felt like it was decently limited in what I could do. I did feel a little bit annoyed the fact of okay, I can move my armies around, but the other players are blocking so much of everything, I can't really get to where I want to do this and that. I did have fun building up the card combos a little bit, but also once you get 5 cards out, it's well, I built up a ton of that, I can only do 5, and now that whole column is done. So I do think it's a good game. I just think it's a game that's not as much for me, but I still think it's kind of fun. So that is a 6. And then Foundations of Rome, Roads of Fortune. This is the expansion for Foundations of Rome. I really enjoy Foundations of Rome. I've always had a blast playing it, and this basically adds these boards that go to the side, and they can be double-sided because they can mix up your game a little bit and add more flavor to it. But those side spaces in Foundations of Rome weren't necessarily as valuable because you couldn't build in every direction around them, because a lot of times in Foundations of Rome, you want to build big things that are going to give you lots of points to kind of combo around with all of your combinations of what's touching it and things like that. But the ones on the side weren't as important. but now there's kind of like area control or different scoring based on whoever has the most on different sides. The corner spaces become very valuable because they're touching two sides now. It just adds an interesting new aspect to the game. Also, this expansion adds more monuments and more or variety to your monuments, so you can switch that up. So it just adds a ton more replayability to the game, makes those side spaces even better. I really enjoyed this, so I gave it an 8 also. And then we're going to talk about some kids games. This is kind of like kids games that kids can play on them by themselves, and this is chip theory games. All of my kids love these. I played through the Sudoku Forest, I think is my favorite of these. I played through Sudoku Forest with like all of my kids, like each individually, and it's so fun just teaching them how to do kind of those little logic puzzles. They have so much fun with all the like trigram puzzles of trying to put all the different triangles on the thing. I love the way that this scales up and starts extremely basic, and you flip over to the next one, a little bit harder, flip over to the next one, and it slowly gets a little bit harder. Sometimes I'll be like, all right, I'm playing with one of my older kids. We're going to flip halfway through. You're going to have to do like a lot more difficult. Okay, you're still beasting that. We're going to flip even further, and then they'd be able to do it. But I think it scales really good for kids. And one of the cool things about this is that they can play it by themselves. This is great for like a road trip or in the car and things like that. And this is one of the things where at first a lot of the board games I very much teach the kids and show them how to do it. This is ones where I taught them, but then I can just be hands off and let them do it and just make sure they get the pieces all back in the box, but the little tin things are really nice that they actually have them in as well, and they all fit together in one container. I think this is a slam dunk. So this is a 8 for me as well, and that's for a kid's game. I think that's great. The next one here for me is Ashes, Siege of Lord's Wall. This is basically a zombie version of Ashes for the Chimera, like Red Rain system that they have. So you have basically hordes of zombies that are coming out, and man, this one can be a little bit tough sometimes, but I really enjoyed the way that it plays. I like the Phoenix Born that come in the game as well. It's cool being able to, I just love the fact that they have standalone decks that come in each of these that you can face off against a thing there. I enjoy playing this super casually. It's just fun being able to have that puzzle of like, okay, I'm doing this. This one felt unique because it's spawning all these zombie conjurations constantly. A bunch of cards, when you kill them, they spawn more zombies. When this happens, this character comes into play, it spawns a zombie. Each round this guy's in play, another zombie's gonna spawn. So it just has this swarm of things, and all the zombies can attack you at the same time. So it can super mess you up if you're not able to guard properly or be able to take those zombies out. The zombies also, if they get exhausted, if they do anything at all, they just go away. So it's so interesting that it gives you that vibe of like a wave of these zombies in the Ashes universe that are all like corrupted by Red Rains are coming after you. I enjoy Ashes. I've really talked about how much I enjoy the solo stuff. I'm giving this an 8. I think this is a lot of fun. And I'm going to keep getting all of these just because I really enjoy the way that Ashes plays solo and cooperatively. So the next one here is, or the last one here is Iceman. I mean, Marvel Champions is one of my favorite games ever. I'm wearing an X-Men shirt. I love Iceman. Is Iceman on the shirt? If Iceman's not on the shirt, then I feel like I messed up. Oh, Iceman's not on the shirt, but I'm going to talk about him here. But yeah, Iceman is a lot of fun to play. The cool thing is he has cards that freeze characters. He has cards that do a bunch of damage to people. I love his like ice clones that he can put out that if you use properly, if they attack things that are frozen, they basically get to stick around. They don't take their consequential damage. So if you play your cards right, you can just keep them around forever, pinging stuff. The fact that he's able to just straight up freeze things up and make it so they don't do as much damage or thwart and things like that to you. It's just cool to be able to have a character that feels like Iceman, and just having more of the X-Men is always fun. I love X-Men, and this has been a lot of fun to play. I played as Iceman. I had my son play as Iceman. He had a lot of fun with it as well, so it's just been really fun having more of those X-Men characters. And you know what? I'm giving it a 9.5 just because I love this character. I think it's a lot of fun. And if you're interested in Marvel Champions, especially X-Men, if Iceman's a character that you like in X-Men, you should be having this pack. Obviously, it works great. It's fun. And Fantasy Flight just keeps killing it with Marvel Champions. One of my favorite games of all time. Anyway, that has been my roundup. Thanks everybody so much for joining me here. Let me know below which of these games you've played and which ones you enjoy. And let me know what you guys are playing currently. Thanks so much for joining me here. I've been Roy Canning, and I'll see you on the next one.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video on the Dice Tower. Hey, do you want to know what's going on with Dice Tower? Do you want to know about our events, our cruises, special things that we're going to do live here in the Dice Tower, subscribe to Dice Tower Digest. Go to dicetowerdigest.com. It's a newsletter that we send out bi-weekly. We won't use your email for anything else. This is just to get you some information about the Dice Tower so you'll be up to date. Thanks for watching.